Do you know the 8-step pattern of success? This was something I was actually taught when I first started inside of direct sales. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jeff Gamble. I actually have a background in traditional business, have a real estate company. That's the reason I was dressed up today. Also have a massage studio, and I'm a former network marketer, currently a John C. Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And today what we're going to talk about is, do you know the 8-step pattern to success? This was something that I was really basically given and told to write down and told to memorize the very first day I was involved. It's not really something to argue. The gentleman who actually put this together, the guy by the name of Dexter Yeager, has built probably the single largest network, in network marketing at least, of people on the planet. I don't know of anybody that's surpassed him. He's created more millionaires than anybody, and he currently holds the #1 record of earning the most money ever in the history of network marketing as a distributor or as a rep of a company. I know it's exceeded $400 million in just commissionable earnings. So he pretty much has not only kicked everybody's ass by several $100 million, but he actually has made more money than some fucking companies. The whole company, all of the revenue of the company. So this is the guy to learn from. And he created this thing called the 8-step pattern, and I want to share it with you real quick. #1 is define your dream. We also hear this as define your why. He always said define your dream. In fact, he made it a little clearer. He said, you gotta have a dream, and he would scream it into the microphone. I won't do that for you, but that's what he would do. And he said it's not only what you want, but it's also what you don't want. And we'll go into that. I'm going to go through a whole series this next week, going through the 8-step pattern and everything. And there's not a ghost in the background. That's actually my girlfriend, Brandy. Wave. Okay, so you can see her. She's working in the background. So it doesn't seem weird that there's like some random person back there watching me do this. 2, make some commitments. Also, next week, we're going to go into those commitments, because a lot of people say, well, what commitments should I make? We're going to go into those and tell you exactly what you need to commit to. And that doesn't come from me. That comes from Dexter. I'm just going to give you what he taught. Make your list. And he goes into very specifically who should be on your list and who should not be on your list. So we'll go through that. Contact and invite. He had a really cool way of contacting and inviting. I'll teach you that in this next week's videos. Present. He says do one big presentation or maybe 2 to 3 presentations. He also got started in 1964. 1964, up in New York, beautiful New York, Rome, New York actually, is where he started his business and built, traditionally the old-fashioned way. I mean, real old-fashioned way. So present is #5. #6. Follow up or follow through. We're going to go into techniques on how to follow up and follow through the right way and the wrong way. I believe there's a wrong way to do it. A lot of people believe there's a wrong way. Some people say there's no wrong way to follow up, and I say bullshit. 7, counsel upline. Counsel upline means basically sit down. Well, we'll go into that next week, but basically when you sit down, you want to form a map, and if you don't know what a map is, watch next week, and we'll go through what a map is, massive action plan, for those of you who don't know. And #8, repeat and teach this system. There was something really cool that he used to do in his events, is he would actually say, okay guys, what we're going to do is we're going to start out and we're going to go through this pattern. And I believe so much in this pattern that I believe you should have it memorized. So everybody get out a piece of paper and a pen. And for the people who didn't know what was going on, he's like, okay, for everybody who doesn't know what's going on, he goes, the first person who can take a piece of paper, a new piece of paper, he goes, it can't be written on already. And he said, everybody get out a new sheet. He goes, you can't have anything on it. He goes, audience, check around. Nobody can have anything on it. The first person who can write down all 8 steps to the 8-step pattern, come up and get this $100 bill. And I mean, he used to do this in his meetings, in his seminars. And people would run down the stage, they'd beat each other up and trip each other. It wasn't quite like it is today. People literally would beat people up and knock them out. and then he'd get down to the stage. I watched, some of his best students do this too, and it was just amazing. It was something that the room memorized, and it was funny, even if you're not doing it, you were out kind of using it and learning from it, and that's what everybody knew how to do. I mean, when people ask, well, how do I do this? What do I do? They would say you do the 8-step pattern. And it's really funny that you do what you know, and you do what you believe you know. If you believe you know it, you'll do it. If you don't believe you know it, you won't even take action towards it. So this is something that you want to know. This is something you want to memorize. It's very similar to what Eric Worre teaches in his book. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down this next week from his actual success guide that he used to hand out. It was in his folder that he would give out. And we're talking about way back. This is from 20-some years ago. And, a gentleman who built, he recruited and sponsored 50 people frontline, and half of them became millionaires. I think he did okay. Well over 1 million people on his team at one time, all around the world. I mean, there was some record where like every 30 seconds somebody was getting into his business. It was stupid. I know he's received bonuses in the industry of millions of dollars at a time before there was $1 million bonus in a company. Last year, I think he still made about $15 million in commissionable income. Not bonuses and all this other bullshit, just commissionable income. That's what he made residually. So it was good. He also owns a plethora of businesses. He's been on the front of Success Magazine. He's a recorded billionaire if you add up all the stuff he owns. And I believe he's actually still alive. He's 80-something, mid-80s. His kids have now taken over the business, and now his kids' kids are actually in the business building. So with that, guys, we'll kind of wrap this up. What do you actually think of this method? I want to know your thoughts. Give this video out to somebody who needs it. Share it. Like it. For more information on prospecting, recruiting, and team building, go to my page, WorkWith JeffGamble, and like it. Please. Because you're supposed to say please, right? When you ask for something. And thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week.